Lawrence Fleming here. I'm doing a quick live update. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a video out tomorrow. I've moved, I'm in a new location, and we don't have any internet. I'd have to drive into town tonight to get it. So what I got to do is, if I record one tonight, which I can do on the phone, I just won't be able to upload it. So I just wanted to get this to you tonight to let you know kind of the status. We've got a couple more days for the calculated June 15th date. The holiday of Shavuot, or First Fruits, was celebrated on the standard Jewish calendar, which is wrong on the 5th and 6th, but it's really the 15th. So we've got that coming up. Now, am I giving you the date of the rapture? I wish, but I don't know. I tell you, it doesn't have to follow a Jewish holiday. It has to follow an event. Now, an event could happen on a Jewish holiday. The Muslims have been known to attack on holidays because they know that there's going to be gatherings, they're going to be celebrating. First Fruits is supposed to be one of those, but since they've already had their official one, this is a non-official one. This is a corrected calendar one. Beria is really good at correcting the calendar, and it lasts for the rest of the month. So we've got that. We've got Pentecost on the corrected calendar. Again, we don't know if those are going to be affected worldly, but the corrected calendar is something that Satan might use, because God knows the right date. If Israel decides to ignore God and do what they want to do, like they've done so many times in the past, then let them have their own calendar. God set the rules up in Leviticus for the moons and everything, and they're not following it right now. But they don't have the temple, they don't have the Ark of the Covenant. They've made up their own rules after the temple was destroyed in 70 AD. So I don't know what dates to tell you to look for, other than to keep looking, because we're expecting it. Any of you out there play chess? Oh, and I can't tell if anybody's coming online and posting. I'm at an odd time in the evening. If you show up and see this, great. If not, just chime in tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and post this. I'm recording and uploading at the same time before I get back to my camp, because I can't do anything there. But if any of you play chess, the game, if played right by expert chess players, and I'm not, at best I might have been a medium quality player at one time. I wouldn't even consider myself an intermediate. But I did know enough to know how to play. I'd usually lose, but I started playing the computer, and once I learned how the computer played, I could win. And the same thing would go with people once you learn how they play. But anyhow, that's an aside. When you start off playing chess, the first people you need to basically move are the pawns. You could take your knights out, but then they're exposed. The pawns are the least important, easily sacrificable players. So anything going on in the world right now, they're moving the pawns around. They're getting set up. Now you still want to take real estate on the board or on the earth. You don't want to lose. You don't want to sacrifice for nothing unless you've got plenty of extra players. And on a chessboard, you've got a minimum number. You can't add to it, take away, that's it. You can take away when you lose the pieces, but you can't add. But on the earth, if you got, people that want to sacrifice themselves, I guess you can keep doing that. The bad guys seem to always want to do that. But as far as the earth goes, countries don't want to give up real estate to gain real estate. Russia specifically doesn't want to do that. Now, if you look at the things that are going on, any one of these tinderboxes could start the whole ball rolling. Now, the first part of the tribulation, there's not a whole lot of definition. Some think we may already be through with part of it. Some people think we may be in it. We won't know until the abomination of desolation of where we're really at, or when we get raptured. When we get raptured, we should know everything. But not until then. So right now, everybody's guessing. And we're supposed to. We're supposed to be looking, supposed to be watching the skies, watching the sun and the moon and the stars and all this stuff. We're supposed to be looking. We're not supposed to go to sleep. We can be out busy working for the Lord, but we can't just go about our business. It says it's in the time of Noah where they were just marrying and giving in marriage and going about their daily jobs. They were unaware of the times, and we're not to be that way. So if somebody wants to guess a date, I'd rather we didn't, but if they want to guess, they can. Just don't blow it up out of proportion and say, I know this is it. God, give me a sign. No, God's not giving anybody signs for the rapture. If you want to go to the second coming, we can talk signs. If you want to talk about the midway point, we can talk signs. We can talk about any of the events of Revelation, but we don't know when it starts. And since the rapture, in my opinion, is pre-trib or early trib, it has to happen at the very beginning. I'll give people that have, midterm and pre-wrath, I'll give them a little bit of credit, but in my opinion, we're in the way of the Antichrist, and the Antichrist has to approve and get this peace treaty and get the temple built. You can't do that in 2 days. He's got to have 2 to 3 years anyway, a year. They could build it right now in a year if they knew that they had peace with the surrounding countries. But we haven't had the Ezekiel war yet. We don't know the timing. In any case, a holiday's coming up. The chess pieces are being moved slowly. The pawns are out now. None of the big players are really doing anything. They're staying behind the pawns. They're staying hidden. The biggest one would be, of course, the Antichrist. But the other countries, Gog, is that Russia? We think it is. They want the oil or the natural gas that Israel has. So they could be involved in any of this starting up. China wants Taiwan. Iran wants Israel and the United States destroyed, at least Israel. Russia wants the oil and will work with the bad guys, the Arab states that are around there that also want Israel destroyed. He's going to work with them. God will. There's all kinds of stuff going on. And of course, every once in a while, North Korea chimes up when they feel they're being neglected. And there's plenty of other countries out there that could come in on this. The Ezekiel war is going to have a group of countries. And then there's going to be another group that are going to sit back and do nothing, for which the United States is part of. We're also in an election year. And the Democrats don't seem to be doing anything. Some local ones are, but in general, they're not doing anything. Why? It's too quiet. You can hear a pin drop in the world right now. And that is not normal. What's going to happen? I don't know. Stay keeping your eyes on the Lord. Put one eye on the Lord and the other eye on the world. How's that? So you see what's going on around you. Be in prayer daily. You don't want to miss out. Don't sin daily. Because when you sin, you limit the Holy Spirit. You can get forgiveness for it. We have to every day. We're told to. But you limit the Holy Spirit, and He may have something important for you to do. So keep sin out of your life so you can work for God. We don't know when this is going to happen. But there are fuses all over the place. One of them just has to be lit. I think China is waiting for somebody else to start. They don't want to be the first one to start. Then they're going to come into Taiwan. So it might be Iran, it might be Russia. I don't think Korea is going to do anything, North Korea is going to do anything right now. But they might jump in after everybody else is going. Kind of like Japan was not really in the war as much as they wanted to be in World War II. And When we were finishing up over there, they attacked us at Pearl Harbor because they wanted to be part of this. It's greed and power. And the Antichrist is trying to do his thing as well. He knows he's got limited time, and he's about to get kicked out of heaven. He's got a beautiful condo up there. Drives around in a Bugatti. I don't know what they have up there in heaven, but whatever the best is, he's got it. He comes down here long enough to pester us. And he's a pest. That's all he is. He's a coward and a pest. I can talk to him because Jesus is right behind me. I wouldn't talk to him like that if Jesus wasn't next to me. But because he is, I can. We can tell him to keep out of our hair. And part of our daily prayer is to have God protect us from evil. But of course, we have to be forgiven for whatever sins we commit daily. We're still sin nature. Help people. There are people right now that are starving. There are people right now that maybe can't go anywhere because they don't have any gas in their car. This is going to keep going. It is going to keep going. I've got somebody chiming in on a Facebook chat, and that's going to get busy, so I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. So this will be out there tonight. I might release it later if I haven't. We'll see what the timing is and how far I can get, because this is moving day. So be safe, be kind to one another, love one another. That's how they're going to know we're Christians. And that's why they're going to want to ask, how come while all this is going on, you're happy? Well, the only way you can do it is with Jesus. You can't be happy if you look what they're doing. They're messing up our world. Well, they're messing up God's world. That's been our temporary habitat. They can't mess up heaven. They've messed up the current Jerusalem. We're going to get a new one. So keep your eye on God. Help one another. And we're going to get out of here shortly. But we're not quite there yet. It's going to go fast. Real fast when it happens. So don't think that we're going to miss anything. And don't, we're looking at the fig tree generation. We're going, how can it possibly be? There's some explanations out there of why where we're at. So don't worry about it. We don't know for sure. We're guessing again. We're not supposed to know. We're supposed to be faithful servants. And as servants, we're supposed to be serving God and others. And get us out of here in time. But keep looking, because it can be any time. Okay, until we meet in the clouds, God bless.